Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the pits of Motor Chaos. This year's Dave. I got online special guest driver of Buzzys Bomber Nitro Funny Car, Mark McElwee. How you doing, Mark? Mark, you there? Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Somehow I think you were on hold or something.
All right, let me introduce you again. We're live in the pits of Motor Chaos. This year's Dave. I got online special guest driver of the Buzzys Bomber Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car, Mark McElwee. How you doing, Mark?
Good, Dave. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I kind of botched up your last name there, Mark McElwee. There we go.
Yeah, it's a tough one. A lot.
So
Scottish-Irish, McElwee.
Yeah, McElwee. So Mark, you did pretty good at the last Funny Car Chaos. You got the runner-up in B-Field, huh?
Yeah, we were real pleased with the performance of the car, and I did much better this year as a driver. I had all year to think about it because, like people knew, it was my initiation last year into the Nitro field. And last year we struggled, and mostly it was because of me. And we barely got in the B field last year and got beat in the first round. And this year we showed up, and we stayed number 3 for the 8th in the third round to number 4 in the A field, and then I had a very successful day. Getting our way through the field, and didn't like to beat Alan Minnendorf in the second round the way that went down, but we'll get another crack at it again with Alan with his hot rod. But it was a great experience for the whole team this weekend.
So now, would he have won if he did not hit the run the car into the wall?
Yeah, he got out of the groove, probably out after the transition, and you could see where it was going.
I keep losing you, Mark.
He almost got there, but he tagged the wall at about 198. I mean, he definitely went by me, and I, definitely thought I lost the round, and I saw some sparks and stuff coming off his car over there in that lane, and I didn't know if they banged the blower. They said no, he actually touched the wall.
Yeah.
So, that's not the way you want to win a race against, a guy like that. Showed up with the baddest hot rod, and he wasn't even making full pulls.
For some reason, you keep fading in and out on me.
Okay, it could be my location. I live out on the water, basically down here on the east coast of Florida.
Ah, okay. So at what got you into drag racing in the first place, Mark?
We basically started drag racing back in the late 90s due to the fact that we started manufacturing some coatings at which is the mothership of PowerShield Coatings, which was one of the main coatings that we my mother trademarked PowerShield Coatings, and it's the ceramic-based coating for headers and exhaust, the exhaust systems and brakes and things like that. Anything that's going to seat some heat. And Buzz came up with the idea in Orlando one year. We were down there doing a display with my dad's 32 Deuce Coupe, and in the midway, and he gave me a smack on the shoulder, and he says, "I got it." And I said, "You got what?" And he says, "We're going to build a race car." So that's basically how it all started, probably in 97 or 98. And it all started with rear-engine dragsters, basically because my mother thought that was the safest way we could go racing. So we convinced her that we could do it safely and have some fun.
So your first vehicle to drag racing was a rear-engine dragster?
Actually, the first pass down a drag strip was in my dad's 32 Deuce Coupe at a show at Palm Beach International Raceway when it was called Moroso. I was doing a show there because that's 45 minutes from my house. So somebody threw me a helmet and said, "Get that car up here." So I had a hard time explaining that to my dad. So that was definitely more push to go build a real race car. And so then we built a rear engine dragster that had a blown gas engine in it from Ultratech race engines, Norm Bierhorst, and Buzzy put a tune-up in it, and the thing would run dead consistent. And we would take turns driving the car on the weekends. He would drive one race, I'd drive another, and we had a little bit of an affiliation with Roy Hill back in the day. That's where we got our licenses, and he would usually give us an extra car at some races that we were racing close to his facility. So Buzz and I had the chance to compete against each other. And that's basically how it all started, and then it just turned into a game of science for Buzz, where he had more fun tuning the thing and making it go fast and letting me drive it. So that's how it got there.
So what was the experience like? The experience for you the first time going down a drag strip?
First time down drag strip was pretty nerve-wracking. I actually, when we got there, Roy Hill says, "All right, who's going first?" And I told Buzz, I said, "You go, you built it." And so I made him drive it first. And then, I saw that the car went straight and that kind of stuff. And then I got my chance in there. And then it was all a learning experience from there. And I just gradually, got more and more comfortable going fast. And we enjoy going fast. We loved bracket racing and meeting the people we met bracket racing and stuff. But if anybody knows Buzz likes to have fast, shiny hot rods, and that's definitely where we're at again. And I'm just blessed to be able to drive his hot rods for him.
So how long did you drive the rear end dragsters for?
We drove those up until 2000, 2001, when the IHRA dropped the Super Eliminator Pro Outlaw dragster class, which was all heads up, a lot of fun. And we basically took a hiatus from racing for, probably 10 years or so. And then Buzz had the opportunity to buy a guy's program that had passed away. And so that's how we got back into it, and we instantly started going fast and looking for any type of heads-up deals that we could go race at in basically a top dragster car on steroids.
So now, what year did the Nova come into play?
The Nova was built 3 years ago. It's been a 5-year process now. From the time he bought it, it sat for about a year, and then it went into the stages of getting made into a funny car, and Buzz embraced himself with the Bowen family, Bowen race cars, and they are meticulous, and how we kind of got into the Nitro program was with them, but they had their hands on the car because we ran it on alcohol 3 years ago when the car came out, and ran in the NDRL series in the 7.0 class so that I could get some seat time in a front engine car, full body deal, and going fast in the quarter mile, because all we'd been doing in the dragster was eighth mile stuff. And, granted, that car ran 200 to the eighth. Quarter mile is a lot longer, and you're out there for a ride when you're going that fast.
So now, what's the quickest time you've had with this funny car?
The funny car on Nitro now, last year, and to date now, the fastest, quickest quarter mile time is a 5.65 at 258. So
now, at what track did you get your funny car license at?
I'm actually still in the process of doing the upgrade to where a lot of the events that we've run at has been all IHRA tracks. I got rained out at National Trail this summer. I was going to make 2 full pulls there and, achieve my license. But I've been in contact with my Division II guy, Cody, and, everything's still squared away where I'm a licensed TAD driver, and they're allowing me to drive until, I can get on an NHRA track and submit my NHRA tickets. And everybody's been good about that too. At all the tracks we go to, because you meet a lot of guys and you don't know who they are and how they drive or any of that kind of stuff. But everybody's given me a lot of respect, and I do my best to try to keep it in my lane and stay as safe as possible. Because these things they can turn on you in a hurry, and I know there's a danger. But I truly enjoy going fast and driving Buzzy's hot rod.
So now, what was the experience like for you the first time driving a Nitro funny car?
Very difficult. To be honest with you, I had a very difficult time a year ago at Central Illinois at the Chaos in the Cornfield 1.0. And the very first hit on Nitro, I was getting choked out by the fumes so bad. When I stepped on the gas pedal, the car bucked me right back off the pedal. So, you know, it was an embarrassing moment for a driver, but it's one of those things where you either, you know, put your stuff away and go home, or you mount that horse and get back on it and try to get it down the track. And that's what we did. I got it, you know, almost to the finish line every time. Like I said, we struggled, mostly because of me, where my brain wasn't catching up to the speed and the inertia of this car on nitromethane. The difference from going from alcohol to nitromethane is just, it's mind-boggling to me. Just the noise and vibration alone with this car, and how hard it pulls, you know. And now I'm driving a clutch car converted to a converter car, so that, you know, it's a nice constant tug. And when you get it in second gear, it's, you know, like they say, it turns into warp speed, where if your brain doesn't catch up, you know, you're going to be in trouble. So that's what I try to do as a driver, is be as safe as I can and keep Buzzy's stuff in good shape and not do anything stupid.
So now, when you take this funny car out on the track, how many crew members do you have, and who are all the crew members?
Crew members, we got a great team. Like I was saying, Buzzy surrounds himself with the best people that he can. And for let me see here, 5 years now, Ben Swan out of Columbus, Ohio, has been Columbus, Georgia, has been my main crew chief. And then we've got the Bowen family that helps us. Scott shows up to almost every race if he doesn't have a conflict with their front engine fuel car. And then I've got the Gutchow family, Joe and Angie and Jason. They all come and help. And then we've got some other local friends, Randy Nellis. Hopefully he's listening. He was at Chaos with me last year. He's a great supporter, knows his way around a fuel car. And then I was blessed this summer to take Eddie Correcchia with me. Unfortunately, we lost his brother this summer, Charlie. So Eddie was with us, and we raced in Charlie's honor with the Nitro car there. And Eddie's a legend back in the day for, you know, running the big guys back in the 70s.
So now, are there any sponsors for this funny car?
Yeah, we get some help. Coatings.com through Tefco Engineering, which is the mothership, like I said, of Buzz's Coating Factory in Niles, Michigan. And they're a very large Teflon coating company, do a lot of big industrial stuff, everything from automotive, food, you know, great company. And then we get some help from DMP, Darren Mayer Performance Engineering, his superchargers. And we get all of our fuel from BP Racing Fuel, so thanks to Pooch and all his guys. And like I said, Bowen Race Cars, they give us a lot of help. And we get all of our gaskets from Mark at Flat Out Gaskets. Love that guy. He's a great friend that always supports us. You know, so that's basically where we're at, you know, with sponsorship. So we would love to be able to, you know, find some other companies that are looking to market their brand and, you know, get their name out there, because we definitely race in front of a lot of people. And this weekend will be an example of that at Martin, Michigan, which is basically Buzz's home track. And Buzz is a track sponsor there. So, you know, there could be, you know, 30,000+ people there. They got some big grandstands, and a lot of people show up for these fuel cars. They've got 4 big NHRA, IHRA fuel cars coming. So, you know, Nitro sells tickets, and I'm just blessed to be driving a Nitro car. You know, it's been a dream, and the dream's come true. So,
all right. So now, when you started drag racing back in the 90s, did you have any drivers that were inspirational to you out there?
Oh, yeah. When we first started in the IHRA, we actually raced with Terry McMillan, to where to this day we're good friends. And, you know, I look up to him and what he's done. Tommy Johnson Jr. has been a family friend for a long time. His dad, Senior, and my dad are buddies, and they go way back. So you look at those guys and where they've gotten to, and I watched Clay Milliken. I'll be able to see him, I guess, racing again this weekend at Martin. He's coming. But the Lagana brothers, we've always, been where they've been, running when their dad was running fuel in the IHRA. It's just really cool to be in this arena with these kind of people. A year ago, I was in the same group of people as Keith Jackson, Nancy Matters last year, this year. Just meeting great people. Doing all this stuff. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, of course, Nancy has the great Dale Pody with her.
Yep.
I know it's got to be awesome to see Dale Pody out there with Nancy Matters.
Oh, yeah. It's just, these guys are legends, and now here we are, trying to put a car in the same field as these guys and girls, it's pretty awesome. So I'm just, proud of what Buzz has done, and, he always gives me a safe car to be in, and like I said, my crew chief, Ben Swan, he's, real meticulous. He's a nut and bolt guy from one end of the car to the other. It doesn't matter if somebody's already done it. He does it again. He's just way into this, and, he's like a brother. And then, get a lot of moral support from my little brother, Chris, and his wife, Amber, his whole family. And then, of course, my mom and dad, they've been a huge part of, getting us to where we've gotten and helping us, with the support and everything and financially. Because as many people know, I'm a teacher. I could have never, like I said, I'm living a dream. I could have never done any of this on my own as a teacher.
Right. So now there's two more Funny Car Chaos events. Are you guys running any of those two events?
Yes, right now we are definitely, because we're going to be the sponsor for the September 6th one at Martin, and like I said, that's Buzzy's home track, and then we are like 90% going to Denton, Texas. We're waiting on a couple of things, with Buzz's business and everything, to make sure he could be away from the business, because that's definitely a long haul. And then that race, we would have to fly all of our crew in, and to get things to work. So, but we're definitely, we really want to get involved in that Funny Car Chaos deal. It's competitive, it's big, it's growing, and that's where we like to go race, and competitive, heads up, first one to the finish line.
All right, so you got those two events, and you got the other Martin event coming up. You got any other events planned for this year?
Yes, actually, after the Martin event this weekend, we are going to the World Series over in Cordova, Illinois, which I believe is August 23rd and 24th. And that's supposed to be a really big event. They're going to induct some honorees into the Hall of Fame World Series deal there that they do. So that should be another big crowd gathering. There's a lot of Nitro cars, I guess, supposed to be there. A lot of jet cars, I believe. So yeah, we're definitely 1, 2, and then so possibly 4 more events for the year if we do the Denton thing, and then hopefully we can get some contacts down here in Florida where Buzz can maybe get away in the winter and bring the car down here and run it maybe at Orlando or Palm Beach or Bradenton, somewhere down here in my neck of the woods.
Now, after all the years of drag racing so far, what still keeps you passionate about doing it?
At the level that we're at now, this car is the most challenging car I've ever driven, and I like the challenge. Getting more and more comfortable in the car every time I get in it. So I would just say to that, it's just it's a passion. Both Buzz and I, you can see it and hear it in him when he's racing. It's what he digs. It's what he loves to do, and I'm just blessed to be a part of it.
Now, when you're out there on the track, getting to the starting line, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions at all?
Yeah, that's funny. I do everything superstitious wise, from putting my right sock on first, and everything's a process. It's driving one of these cars. It's you got to do everything the same way every time. So my get ready procedure is basically the same way. All the time. I do everything the same way, and the last thing I do after they leave me alone in the car when Buzz and Ben's got me buckled in is I say a little prayer, and then we know it's game on. And it's sometimes it's kind of funny because at the last race they thought Buzz and Artie were different people, and so a lot of times people don't even know that like we're brothers or anything. It's funny because Buzz, he got his nickname because he looks like Buzz Lightyear, and he is a character. So, we're having a blast, and love seeing the people that come to the races and stuff. Get a lot of support at Martin, so it'll be fun to going back there this weekend.
Awesome. So now, what goes into preparation for you guys to get the funny car ready?
After every race, they do ending deal where they prep the car so that it's going to sit, and so they dump all the oil out of it. They get all the fuel out of it. Actually, I think they leave the oil in it until we get there for the next one. Then they dump it, but they spray WD-40 and a lot of the ports and the fuel lines and everything because the nitro is so corrosive. So when we get to the track, the main thing is, we get the camp set up. It's a long weekend race, so we do the big awning, and then when the car comes out on Friday morning, then it's basically going one end to the other to where it's nut and bolt. My job's basically the back of the car, the wheelie bar, the wheels, the parachutes, parachute levers, the body I'm responsible for, and then Buzz and Ben, and if Scott's not working on his car, they'll be going through valve lash and the motor. This motor right now is so happy, Dave. They have not had to pull the heads off of it or anything. They'll drop the pan if they see an issue maybe in the valve train. But the pan won't come off for maybe a dozen runs or so. This motor is so happy. It's an Alan Johnson 426 with the Darren Mayer supercharger on it, a little 671, and so it's just basically a boys deal where we don't really have any women other than Angie on the team. She mixes fuel with Joe, and they do a lot of the cleaning of parts and draining of oil reservoirs and all that kind of stuff. But it's basically where they just nut and bolt everything and get it ready to fire, and we go through usually an alcohol warm up, set timing and that kind of stuff. And then, and then they'll light it on nitro. But we've got, clutch that they'll set the clutch. And then once the clutch is set, usually they don't have to bother it too much. Especially if we're doing a show race. But if we're getting after it, then we'll do a lot more work on the clutch, which is what Buzz is wanting me to learn more of. And, I'm trying to, get there with learning that. And Ben is, really taken that on, learned from Sean Bowen and Joe Haas. They've both driven Buzz's car, and they're both great clutch guys. So they say drivers are supposed to be clutch guys, so I guess I'm going to have to start getting more dirty then.
Yeah. So now, since you've been doing this Nitro Funny Car thing, do you have any favorite tracks so far?
Well, obviously Martin's, like a home track. I feel very comfortable there. It's like driving down a freeway. It's so wide. And like I said, this whole deal got started out there at, Central Illinois in Havana at the Chaos in the Cornfield. And, it was one of those things where I could have easily tucked my tail and said, okay, this isn't for me. It's too dangerous or whatever, but that's not me. Ever since I got my top alcohol license, it's just been, I just want to go faster. Almost had a chance to get in a second car of an NHRA top fuel deal with Terry McMillan, but just really could never get the kind of sponsorship money we needed for that deal. So, that dream didn't come true, but like I said, driving this Buzzys Nitro Bomber is definitely living a dream right now. And, looking to, this weekend possibly set another personal best this weekend and go a little quicker and a little faster than we've ever gone. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully the body will hold up. We got a carbon fiber body coming for the car. Probably have that out by next year. So that'll help too with some downforce.
Yeah, every time I hear cats in the cornfield, I think of Keith Jackson out in the cornfield.
Oh yeah. I'm telling you, man. If you don't get the laundry out, you will end up off the end of the track at that place. And as Alan Mendendorf will tell you, when you step off the pedal, it gets really dark. So.
Yeah. So now, do you prefer the quarter mile or eighth mile?
Quarter mile, definitely quarter mile racing, especially with this Nitro car because we shift it on distance. We don't shift it like electronically or anything like that or time. They give me a point that they maybe want to see the car shifted at, or they tell me, where I feel, the car needs to be shifted. So usually it's out maybe at the mile-an-hour cone by half track or so. And that seems to be where the car likes to be shifted, is where you hang it out there a little bit further and let the RPM get up a little bit more, and then you plan it in second gear, and if it sticks, I mean, the tug is unbelievable. So, quarter mile racing, you got a lot longer, and then definitely the chutes hit a lot harder, so that negative G-force is pretty interesting.
Now, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from, Mark?
I get all my safety equipment from Simpson. Right now I'm wearing a two-piece 20 suit and wearing all the underwear, the Nomex underwear and stuff. I've always worn a Simpson helmet. I just feel that they're comfortable. I like the style, and I've been a Simpson fan just ever since, maybe because of John Force and, watching him and, seeing that, he wears mostly all Simpson product, or used to anyways. And dealing with Simpson, it's always been real good. They're great at getting you something if you're, stuck in a jam. So, and then I use the Hans, device, so, I feel more comfortable in that. I know a lot of guys don't like it, for getting hung up in the car. But right now it's just what I'm accustomed to, and it's what I have. So, like I said, I feel very safe, driving the car. I wouldn't do it if I didn't. And, I rely on the Simpson safety equipment, and, it has saved me, one time when we were in Canada. We, had the car on fire for a good 5 seconds, and the fire suit definitely did its job.
Now, you had mentioned John Force. Now, how about John Force getting that 150th career win, huh?
Oh, that was unbelievable. It was cool to watch. I was sitting there, watching it on TV. Just a real cool deal for, that guy. And, and he's another guy. He's so friendly to the fans and stuff. And, that's why I wish the guy, Mike McIntyre Jr., now they stepped up and went big car,
right,
big show racing, hopefully he can line up with a guy like that because, it's a cool arena to be able to, stepping stones. And Buzzy always says, don't hold your breath. So, you never know. And I've always told him, I'll drive something once and I'll tell you if I like it or not,
Yeah, there's a lot of underdogs out there in the NHRA and the Top Few and Funny Car.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. To where guys like Mike McIntyre, he's a driver. I drove against him last year and watched him for years. And that kid can drive the wheels off of anything. And, once they get this car set up that they've got, he's one of those guys that I think can be, like a Scotty Palmer and, the Capco guys that, finally start, creeping up on the Schumachers and the Forces.
Yeah. So now, Mark, what would you consider to be some of the milestones of your racing career?
I would have to say a couple of the biggest highlights were winning the Bradenton Outlaw Championship in 2010 and 2014 with the rear engine dragster. The one year we did it with a titanium front half dragster that nobody said it could be done. But we lightened the car up and the thing flew. And then I think we set the speed record at Killcare Dragway over there in Xenia, Ohio, at 199.9 or something in the 8th mile one year for the Buckeye Nationals over there. And then we had a couple of invites to the Bader family's Night of Fire that's actually this weekend too. And you race in front of 50, 60,000 people, and then you're entertained with fireworks. So there's and being able to do it with family. There's not one. There's just so many memories. And having my son with me when he was little, he went with me a lot. He's not been able to go as much now since he's older and got a job and going to college and everything. Just blessed with my wife putting up with me leaving all the time to go race, so it's just really cool.
Now, does your wife like drag racing?
No, she thinks it's stupid. And then, I'll tell her how fast I went or something. She goes, "What's that mean?" So it's all good. She, she's proud of me. She's proud of what we do, and she knows that my brother, puts me in a car that's safe, and we do the best we can to be safe. It's nerve-wracking for her, I'm sure, but like I said, I'm blessed that she's given me the blessing to go do it.
Yeah. So no kids?
No, I've got a 22-year-old boy, and like I said, I drug him around with me in the camper when he was little. He'd be in his little car seat, and I'd be driving the toter home from one race or to a show to another. So I had him with me a lot when he was little. He enjoys it. He would like to be able to race one day. So you never know.
Yep. Now, throughout your drag racing career, have you had any accidents or close calls?
Oh yeah. Like I said, one of the worst deals was being on fire in Canada because it was pretty good blaze. I mean, it would, even though it was a rear engine dragster, the thing blew up pretty good, and the flames were in the cockpit. And like I said, I was on fire for a good 5 seconds. And then let's see. I think. Other than that, maybe other than doing a couple of good wheel stands and dragsters and breaking the wheelie bar, and then it instantly heads for the wall. But no, thank God I've not hit anything. Don't intend on hitting anything. Hope I don't hit anything. I've only crossed the center line once, and that was with no one else in the other lane, where the car just wanted to go that way. So I was like, all right, let's go over there and see how you like it over there. And and then probably the other closest call was at Night of Fire with Mike DiDomenico and his rear engine dragster. We got real close at half track, and I guess they said we could have high-fived each other.
Well, knock on wood, you won't have no accidents.
Yeah, no, don't want to be in one. Like I said, I pray every time in the car. For God's safety, and I know I got a lot of people, praying for me, looking over me and stuff, and it's what it is. I mean, people know there's a danger in drag racing. I've had a couple of offers to drive some jet vehicles, and right now I have no interest in driving a jet vehicle. They're cool, they're fast, but I'm not ready for a jet. I got enough going on what I got, and it's like I said, it's a dream come true.
Yeah, you're enjoying the natural methane.
Yeah, there's nothing else like it. I mean, and like we were talking about working on the car, I've never seen Buzz work less on a car all year long, compared to what we were doing with the alcohol motors. And obviously, we were trying to make them go fast and stuff, but it just seemed like we would wound a motor every third pass or so. And I mean wound a motor where we're, changing a motor.
Right.
So, And this thing between the frame rails of the Bomber, they pulled the heads off of it last year at Milan, and it looked like it hadn't even been run. And they stuck the heads back on it, and that's the day I made the 258-mile-an-hour pass.
All right, now, Mark, I'm going to ask you a few fun questions here.
All right.
Outside of the drag racing thing, you have any other hobbies?
Yeah, I go motorcycling, and I like to go fishing.
What do you like to fish for?
If I had my choice, it would be offshore for dolphin, mahi-mahi.
Really?
I like to eat fish. I used to have a fishing boat down here, and that's all we did before I drag raced.
Wow, dolphins, huh?
Well, yeah, the ones you can eat, not the flipper.
Right.
People get them mixed up, but we used to fish for everything down here. We did pretty good back in the day. We had a lot of fish on the table.
Have you ever done shark fishing?
No, not a fan of catching sharks. To me, it wasn't one of my things. But I know guys that they'd pay big money to go catch tiger sharks or whatever. But I was always a meat fisher. I like to go out and drag baits and watch them dolphin dance across the water. Caught a couple of big blue marlin in our time, and caught a lot of sailfish, wahoo, and then bottom fishing. I wasn't a fan of bottom fishing because I throw up. I get seasick easy.
So the marlin and sailfish had been fun.
Oh yeah, the one marlin that we caught, we didn't even know what we were doing. It was when we first started fishing, and it took us like 3.5 hours to get the thing to the boat and release it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was huge. It was estimated at over 500 pounds.
Yeah, that's big.
It was half the size of the boat. I was on a 25-foot boat. It was over half the size of the boat.
All right, now with the Nitro Funny Car, do you have a greatest competitor out there?
Right now it seems like it's going to be Alan Mendendorf since he unfortunately hit the wall. I know he wants to get me back. Other than that, I mean, there's, just everybody I race, I, treat them the same. I don't play any games at the starting line. And basically, we race the car to the track. We race our lane, and we try to make the car go as fast as we can in its lane that we're given. And, that's basically what we do. So I try not to make bad blood with anybody. We razz each other a little bit. I love racing with Steve last weekend. They're good friends of ours. They deserve the win. And I joke around with them. We match raced last year at Milan, and I red lit on him, and then I beat him once, and then he beat me this last weekend. So now it's 2-1.
Yep, the Detroit Tiger.
Yeah, man, those are good guys right there. That's a great group of guys.
Yeah, he'll be up in my neck of the woods. He'll be up in Great Lakes Dragway over here in Union Grove, Wisconsin.
Right.
Labor Day weekend.
Right.
Labor Day weekend, he'll be up here.
Yeah, they do a big show, I guess.
Yeah. So now, have you won a lot of trophies or plaque stuff like that throughout your racing career?
Yeah, we won the trophies, like I said, over at Bradenton. They gave out a nice trophy for that outlaw deal, and then I forgot one year they had a deal at Indianapolis. They put the top dragster guys and nitrous guys, that wanted to go fast heads up. They put everybody on a 10.5-inch tire and called it Indy Rage, and we won that series one year. So that was fun trying to make a 10.5-inch tire work on those blown dragsters and stuff. They thought it was going to even the playing field with the nitrous guys, and Eddie Corecci unloaded and spit out like a 390 something, like right on the first hit,
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, if you were able to do time traveling and go backwards in time, would you do anything differently with your drag racing career?
I wished I could have gone nitro racing sooner. That would be the only thing I could see, because otherwise, I mean, this is, it's just been one piece of the puzzle after the other, and being able to achieve, the level that we're at now. And, like I said, it's been the most challenging thing, and I'm just glad that my brain is, catching up to the speed of the car so that I can drive it and, get it to the finish line under full power and stuff so that Buzz can really see what he's got,
All right, now what's your favorite food to eat, Mark?
Sushi. I'm a sushi guy. I love sushi. But then I'm a food guy of anything. Everybody knows I'm a garbage can. I like Mexican food. I like Italian food. I mean, you put something out and I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, you're one of those guys. You're on a seafood diet. You see food, you eat it.
Yeah. I got to be careful though, because I will put on a lot of weight, and then if things don't fit too well, and it's a little hard to get in and out of that car. Yeah,
you want to be able to fit in the fire suit too.
Yeah, that's one reason why I went to a two-piece suit, though, just because kind of the way I'm built, short and a little heavy in the gut. The one-piece fire suit, I just felt really restricted in that, and as far as being able to get out of a car on time, I just feel safer and more comfortable now in a two-piece suit.
So now, what's your favorite beverage to drink, Mark?
Sweet tea with a lemon. I gave up drinking about 6 years ago this November.
All right, now what's your favorite music to listen to?
That's a toss-up. If I'm riding a Harley, it's probably Pitbull or Kid Rock. If it's a Sunday afternoon and I'm laying around the pool, it's probably some reggae.
Now, you have a favorite movie of all time?
Right now, it's got to be Talladega Nights. I like to quote some of that stuff sometimes. Where I even was messing with Alan last weekend, where I told him, I said, "Hey, Ricky Bobby, I'm coming for you." So, I'm not a big movie guy, but I like funny movies. I don't like the scary blood and guts movies.
All right. Can you think of one most embarrassing moment you've had out on the track?
Right now, I'd have to say last year at Savannah when I got bucked off the gas pedal. Because they had a pretty good crowd of people there and stuff, and everybody's probably like, "No, what's wrong with that car?" And it's just the driver.
Yeah. All right. So, if you weren't doing the drag race thing, you have any idea what you'd be doing?
Probably be fishing. Still be riding the motorcycles, I would imagine. I ride with my son when we can on the weekends and stuff, and try to teach him, to ride, when it's not rush hour and stuff like that, But those are kind of my hobbies around here, and like I said, I live right near the water and stuff. So my passion before was fishing, and I couldn't get enough of it. So I'd probably end up, buying another fishing boat or something.
Fondest memory of your drag racing career?
Hugging Buzz at the end of the race last weekend right now. That was just another great moment. To be able to show up in Havana and qualify in the A field and get to a final. And I had been talking out loud, to Ben and to Buzz, to where I was telling them, hey, I said, I'm coming to that race to win, in the A field. And, so right now, that's just the freshest thing other than, winning the races we won with the Outlaw Dragster. This Nitro thing is just, it just blows my mind, and be able to have my mom and dad at the races and stuff, and like I said, my little brother Chris and Amber, his wife, and all our friends that show up to the race. It's a blast.
Now, if people that are listening to the interview want to find your events online, is there any way for them to find them?
Yeah, Buzzy posts the whole bomber schedule on Facebook, and most everybody's friends with him on there. I think Buzz is still doing like a Power Shield Coatings website with his GM Craig Ponsler, who's a big motor guy. He likes to race stuff. He does boat racing and all kinds of stuff. So he's helped us out with some, the website or the Facebook stuff for PowerShield Coatings. But basically, we'll post stuff through Facebook and things like that. And that way people can know, where we're racing and when.
Awesome. Well, Mark, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do this interview.
Yeah, Dave, I appreciate you inviting me to do it. It's fun.
No problem. We'll do another one in the future. We'll get an update on you.
Okay, man.